I have ADHD and it affects me in things like school, work, just normal daily activities because I can't really focus on one task without getting distracted and doing other things. When I let my learning abilities affect me, it really just felt dreading, and I had a bunch of stuff piled up that I knew I needed to do but didn't know where to start. An average school day for me before I let my learning disabilities control me was when I was in high school. I would get to school and I would get distracted with my friends right away and really just wouldn't complete any assignments. I'd fall asleep in my classes and just really let it overtake my education. An average school day for me, I get to school about 3 hours prior to my class and I find a spot to study. And between each assignment that I complete, I move from study spot to study spot so that I don't get too anxious being in one spot for too long. I think getting an education will help me achieve my goals because on paper, having an education is a lot better than just having the experience to an employer. Whenever I'm studying, I get distracted with things such as my phone, just other things around the house, practically anything because of the ADHD. And usually what I'll do is I'll turn on some music on my computer where I have to do my homework, so the music that I like is there and I want to stay more in the area. So I'll usually complete it better whenever I turn the music on. I usually avoid the distractions with the music, and that's been the best way I found to cope. Either with that or I'll try to seclude myself in an area where I can't be distracted. I use my ADHD to my advantage now during this year by focusing on multiple tasks at one time. This semester in college, I'm ensuring that I pass by keeping a notebook, this little black notebook that I write all of my assignments due for the month and I cross them out as I go so that I stay on track. I'm gonna use my ADHD to my advantage in my future job. I plan to open a steakhouse, which I know is a very high stress environment, but I believe with the ADHD, I can focus on all the things without getting too overwhelmed. In a restaurant job, you have multiple tables with different orders, different stuff to make, and you're gonna have to be able to remember all those things at one time. So if my mind is working like that already, then it shouldn't be too hard in the restaurant industry. The steps I'm gonna use to pass throughout this school year and succeed is mainly the notebook thing. I think that that's a big help and it keeps me on track to be able to visually see what I need done and just keeping my grades as high as I can. The steps I'm taking to achieve this future is to just make sure that I stay on points with my study and continue them until I get the highest degree I can and maintain the grasp that I have on my ADHD and keep on using it to my advantage and not let it get a hold of me. When I let my education slip behind me was in high school when I had gotten held back because I wouldn't focus on any of the tasks, and that was very dreadful because it just felt like a lot of weight on my shoulders that couldn't be taken off. But eventually I made it through and I was able to cope with my ADHD from that point on. Getting control of my studies made me just a lot more confident. Makes me confident seeing that I have all A's and that I'm passing, that everything's on track. So it's just a lot better. My plan to keep myself on track is to just keep myself up to schedule. Things like the notebook, even if it's just a notebook, calendar, a syllabus for myself, to just make sure that I can visually see what I need to do rather than keeping it in my head and forgetting about it. No, I won't let ADHD control my life because I'd already let that happen and it brought me to what felt like my lowest point. Working out relaxes me because I waste all my energy inside the gym, and when I get home I feel like I only want to chill out. So I get on my computer and I do my homework and I don't feel like moving from that spot because I'm tired. And nighttime's the best time for me to study because there's no going outside, there's no making much noise because everybody's asleep, and I just have to sit there and focus on what I need to do. It feels a lot better knowing that I gained control of my life, because if I didn't, I would just still be doing the same thing that was before. I probably would have never graduated high school or gone into college because I just would have let things distract me because it wasn't what I necessarily wanted to do. It was what I had to do. To continue growing, I'm gonna just make sure that I can get, if possible, at least a master's degree in school. I think having that will be a lot better look on not just employers, but to also customers. And keep my credit score up, keep my life good, make sure that I could get loans from the bank so I could succeed in the business that I want to open. With midterms coming up, I don't think I'm too prepared for them, but I know I will be by the time they're up. I know I work better under pressure.